I've talked about how I have psychopathic traits. So I found a list of 20 psychopath key-ins, and I thought I'd go through 20 traits of the Hare psychopath. The checklist are: pathological liar, as stated before, I try not to lie. Glib and superficial charm. I have been told that I am very charming. I can act very well. I can make people feel comfortable around me, though I try to avoid them. 3, grandiose sense of self. I have very low self-esteem, actually, which is another reason for the blacked out. Need for stimulation. Yes, I always have to be doing something. Something always needs done. If I am sitting around, I feel useless, worthless. 5, cunning and manipulative. Yes, I am. I am very smart. I know what to do. And I am manipulative. But I don't use it on a big scale. I use it more to get out of problems, or to avoid hanging out with people, or walk away. 6, lack of remorse or guilt. There are certain things I feel guilty of, but if it's over, it's over. I feel guilty about hurting my partner about 3 years ago. Otherwise, I really don't have that much remorse or guilt. Shallow emotional response. I would have to ask someone else's opinion on that, but I pretty much say the exact same things over and over. Callousness and lack of empathy. I do have this. Parasitic lifestyle. I suppose, yes. I've always lived with someone, despite wanting to be alone. I am codependent on my partner, but it's a codependency that we both face. 10, poor behavioral controls. Sometimes, when my borderline personality disorder acts up, I sometimes talk about things I should not talk about, or do things I shouldn't do. 11, sexual promiscuity. I am actually not a very sexual person. I have been told I am a very big flirt, but when it comes to actual sex, I am not that big on. Early behavioral problems. This is hard because I don't remember my childhood. I was an only child for 10 years, and I was homeschooled for a vast majority of my childhood. So I don't know. 13, lack of realistic long-term goals. I have 2 goals right now. I want to move to a different country, and I want a child. Other than that, I really don't have very many goals. Impulsivity. This also comes hand in hand with the BPD, because sometimes it acts up and I'm extremely impulsive, but other times I can keep a good head on my shoulders. 15, irresponsibility. I am very responsible, but it's mainly to keep up the charade. 16, failure to accept responsibility. I have been told I have that. I don't know. 17, many short-term marital relationships. I have been engaged once before, but I have been with my partner for going on 6 years. And we've lived together the entire time, almost. They moved in with me about 2 months after we started dating. Juvenile delinquency. Even though I did a lot as a kid, I was smart enough to cover my tracks. I used to be a bad drug addict. I used to drink. I would get into fights. But I was always smart enough to cover my tracks. Revocation of conditional release. The closest I've come to this is when I was in the mental ward. I've been in and out of mental wards several times as a kid. Been through Alcoholics Anonymous, been through the 12-step program, and I was just told I should take another 12-step program at the local hospital. Criminal versatility. The only criminal acts I've ever done is doing drugs as a kid, theft. I've never killed anyone. I've never severely injured someone. Even when I stabbed my roommate, it was just in the hand, and we never went to the doctor for that. Yeah. There are a lot of psychopathic traits that I do carry. And it's mainly the charm. It's mainly the thinking things out. Because sociopathy, the common trait for that is you can't think as well. But when it comes down to it, I am a sociopath, not a psychopath. And that biggest thing, the biggest difference is I can create an emotional bond, which is the primary difference. If I lost that, I would be a psychopath, and I would have nothing. At least I'm human enough to be able to care about my fiance and care about my pets and my siblings. Sorry, I yawned. That's one thing. A lot of people say that psychopaths and sociopaths, if you yawn in front of them, they will not yawn. That is true in my case. I learned how to control my yawning as a kid because I didn't like the fact that someone could control me just by yawning. Alright, I think that's good.